So bought this for $2 at the end of the auction because nobody wanted it. It does hang on the wall, but if I put a back on it and have Chris cut down that bottom, even though I love the decorative of it, it doesn't sell as much as a shelving system to hang on the wall as it does when it has the two options. So I'm gonna say, does that one just pop out?
No,
Yeah. I just need something to have little legs on. Perfect. Ooh, I might keep that. That's okay. I might keep, you never know where we might use this, right? It's decorative. So I have this piece of plywood. I just get the workable sheets from Home Depot. I think if I put a backing on this, it'll be a little bit more sellable, though I need to get the somebody stickered it. Little nails from where that detail was on there. They're just little holes, so I'm just going to fill them with a little bit of air dry clay. Does not take much. Just kind of stuff it in there. Actually, I'm not going to try to cut that whole round part. I'm just going to lower underneath that part. Take my square and make a line to know where I need to cut. See how we did. All right. Oh yeah, yep. No, I'm actually not going to attach it because it's going to be easier to paint this piece. Not attaching it. So we're not going to attach it yet, but I do need to sand this. Okay, we're all scuff sanded. We're just going to wipe it down yourself some hot water. This backing is too wide for any of the wallpaper that I have. So I'm toying with the idea of keeping the wood color on this, toying with it. We'll see how this turns out. First, I'm going to go ahead because this is not so pretty. And I'm going to do DIY's Layered Chocolate as my first coat, as a background. And that soak right into this very raw plywood. I know people hang stuff on their walls, but I don't know. Shelving is not a quick seller in my booth either. So it's funny when you go to an auction and something that hangs on the wall, like everybody's like, nope, don't want that. Nope, don't want that. And I'm like, okay. In this piece, they all, what are you going to do with it? I'm going to cut it apart, unfortunately. Nice thing about DIY paint is you can use a heat source to help dry it along. Now that my paint is dry, I'm going to go ahead and seal it in, and I'm just going to use some spray shellac because DIY paint distresses really easy, so I don't want to do anything I have to brush on. Now remember, this is just the background, so I'm going to take some of the Sweet Pickins beeswax, and I'm just going to run it over here. You can use candle wax. I just like the beeswax. I like the size that it fits in my hand. And then I'm going to use some of the DIY's White Swan, and we're just going to cover that up. I'm hoping that some of it will chip off. And just set it off to the side, let it dry. Okay, that's dry. That's the wax you see underneath it. It actually cracked and crazed a little bit. So I'm just going to take a scraping tool and see if anything scrapes off. We just wanted to make it look like it was an old board, and that's what we achieved. And I'm going to sand it a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take, I'm loving on the dark oil wax. So I'm going to take some dark oil wax. We did not seal in that white paint. We're going right on top of that. You know, I forgot to shake my bottle up. Oh, remember to shake your bottles up. Watch, difference. Oh, my bad, my bad. I'm human too. I'm not, definitely not perfect. So now I'm going to take some Fusion's clear wax. And we're going to do the eraser to blend it in a little bit more. Yes. DIY paint is very, very dry. So you do get that opportunity to play with it a little bit. So is there some faux pas that I can't use the same stain I used on my front porch? I did a birdhouse in this and I loved it. So I want this to stay wood, but it had so much watermarks and scrapes on it that, yeah, it's staying and top coat all in one. Amazing. Wipe it on or brush it on, and then I'll take the cloth and kind of wipe it off so we don't have brush strokes. Oh, it's really pretty. Look at how pretty that is. It's the back of the board. Same stain. Only seems right, right? Make a match. Or semi-match, different wood species, so it's going to take differently. But I do need to finish the back just as much as I needed to finish the rest of the project. So I'm going to figure out which side I like the best. Won't that look cool? And then just some brad nails. It kind of looks, I mean, to me, it almost is like the same color. I know. Somebody added that wire a while ago, but cubbies for me sell better than shelves. So that's what I'm going to go for. I have to take the wire mesh off the back, which is already, if you see, coming off some, it was addition. And then have Chris cut it down. I know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what I can salvage it out of if I even feel like it. But I know 6-drawer cubby will just sell on its own. So just some little staples. Yeah, like I said, somebody just added that on. So I need to fill in these holes. They're large. So there's 2 of them. So I'm going to do Bondo since they're so large. Little air dry clay is not going to be enough on that. So Bondo is a putty. And then you mix it with a little bit of hardener. And we should be able to fill in those holes. And use a little bit of tape on the back so that it doesn't just run all the way through. And I usually overfill it so I can just sand it flush. Our Bondo is hard. Nope, no shellac, no nothing. I'm going in with Fusion's limestone and chalk paint in the color white oak. I'm not painting the inside. I think I'm going to keep the drawers as is. I like the simple little knobs that are on there. And so I'm matching the color of the paint to the knobs. And then this will just soak right into this raw wood. No primer, no nothing. We'll just see what it does. In this paint, I do sometimes need a spray bottle of water to get it to move around. It is a little bit kind of like the DIY's chalk paint, you know, or DIY's clay base paint. It's a drier paint. Tried to get most of the top coat off. One coat is soaked in. Now we're going to go ahead and stress it because that's my jam. But I'm also sanding that so it's smooth. Like you can feel the paint feels all raised, and you know that's just the way this type of paint feels. And then sanding it, it's getting it to smooth down and feel all soft. I've not tried it on this paint either, but we'll see how it goes. Am I supposed to be rubbing it in with clear wax? I don't know, but that's what I'm doing. Right? You feel it, you do it. Now, I'm unsure if I could have used the dark oil wax to freshen the front of these up. There's a few little scratches. I know I can use Howard's, and I know that it will get into the scratches and stuff. I just didn't know, will it dry, or like would the wax dry over the top of a top coat like this? So I'm playing it safe there, doing what I know on this project anyway. But yeah, see, it just livens them back up. They just needed a little loving. What do you, I think I can make another thing out of it. Because this is not structurally strong, cut it like right in there, and I could put up another board.
I can do it right at the top of that crust.
Yeah, I could put another board on it and make another little cubby. I have a piece of pallet wood. I don't know if I can get two out of here to be the new base for this. It would be nice to use the same board because it would be the same thickness. I remember when I would wait for Chris to get home to use any of these saws. I would never use any of them. Man, have I changed. I won't use the table saw, but I'll use the bandsaw and the chop saw, and a lot of prayers while I'm going at it. But you know, you kind of figure it out because you don't want to have to wait forever. Yay! There is enough left over. So I'm sure I'm probably going to have to rip it down a little bit. nail side on it. See how we did there. Okay, pallet wood, as you know, is really rough, so we're gonna need to sand it. I think before I start to attach, I'm going to go ahead and get this sanded because it'll be easier. Okay, all sanded. It actually sanded really easy. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out here. Just a little bit of glue to hold them. The pallet wood's pretty dry. I don't think it's gonna split, but I just feel like I should have a little bit of glue. A little bit of glue here. You get a little bit of time to work with this, so this is not that much to brad nail onto. I am not a woodworker. I just play one in my day job. Don't tell anybody. I'm sure my husband has an easier way to do this, but this is the way I'm doing it. If you can't entertain yourself while you're at work, what are you doing? Right? I'm never looking for the perfectly imperfect, so. I think we're good. So now I'm trying to decide, do I fill in the line, the line from where the two pieces of wood are with Bondo, or do I leave it as character? Because I'm gonna paint it to make everything go. So I was like, I don't know, like, do I leave it? Do I not? But I go ahead and get it back on because I can decide from there. There is some staples and there's some nails. I was kind of hoping to countersink it. We'll see how it goes. Just a piece of plywood. It's in my pocket. You know. A bit more than I needed to, I just wanted to make sure. Like, yeah, I can round that a little bit. That's not a problem, but we got it back. Or, attached to. I think we're good. I just sanded the bottom just a little bit, make sure everything matched up. You don't have a lip. I think I'm just going to leave it kind of on the rough side. But we're going to go ahead and put some shellac on here. Prime and seal everything in, all this raw wood with shellac. Don't forget to stir your yummies off the bottom because it's been sitting. Decided this is a salvage piece. I'm going to probably make it look chippy. I'm not going to worry about trying to bondo the lines where I added the 2 pieces of pallet wood. It'll be fun. It's character, right? So I'm going to be doing some vintage Laurel, which is Laurel is one of my favorite spray paints by Rust-Oleum. This is Fusion's milk paint. It does act a little bit different than the Sweet Pickens, but it's a milk paint all in its own. I know somebody asked, why do I use a lot of milk paint? I like to make things look old, like they've been around. I like to play with them after I've got my paint dry. And a lot of paints don't let you do that. They don't give you that character, and milk paint does. So that's why I tend to use it. Now, I do notice the Fusion, you use about half the water you would normally use. It is definitely way runnier, but just a nice, soft green color. You know, we just all learn a product that we like. And if it does the results that you're looking for and you're happy every time you finish something up, that's what you use. So there we are. It's a little grittier no matter how much I stir it, even if I used an immersion blender. But it gives it a different texture, a different crackle. If it crackles, it doesn't always crackle. This wood was very raw. And I might need 2 coats because it is a light color. Most definitely need 2 coats. So get it stirred back up. Get all those yummies off the bottom. Add more water if you feel like you need to. And we'll just see that first coat will just attract that second coat. You think, oh, I'm going to have to do like 5 coats to get it to cover. No, it just needed that first coat to get on there. The Fusion milk paint gives a totally different look. As you can see, it's more of a textured look. But once you sand it, it's completely fine. Because I like to distress my pieces. So we're going to go in and get it sanded. It sands super easy. Gotta get that hard, crusty edge off. Now I just go around with this paint and I do it like a feel. I'm just looking for a smooth feeling. Whatever came off is what came off. I'm going to go ahead and use the Sweet Pickens oil wax on this. I have not used the oil wax with the Fusions paint yet. So we're going to do the bottom first. You know, what if you don't like it, right? Oh. It's a much drier, definitely much drier. With some of the Fusions wax. Definitely doesn't spread quite the same way on just because it's a drier paint. So the wax helps.